How's it going, everyone? Session here. Welcome back to Who the F Did I Marry? We're at part six right now. Um, Ending it from the previous parts, there was essentially a moment where, to recap everything, she had a boyfriend that she met March 4th. March 7th went on their first date. They ended up moving together during the times of COVID in a house. And I guess they were both convinced to each other that they were going to get married and have kids and start a family and everything too. Now, as a result of all of this as well, he's pretty much been shady relatively about what his actions have been in terms of that foreclosure with the house and making the offer for it, to the point that she started making a bunch of different diaries recording her thoughts and ideas about what he's doing and saying for their relationship. Uh, Turns out that she ended up getting pregnant, but it was a miscarriage after I think 2 months. So um, it was really tragic to hear that story from her side of things. And now we are going to get started with part six. Additionally, there is apparently like a clarification video, so we'll watch the both of these two together. So we'll finish part six and then watch the clarification video. I'm assuming that it's meant to be watched in the order that is released, so we'll just do that pretty much. So here's part six.
Okay, so this is part six of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So, where we left off. So, obviously, my doctor had called and told me there was no heartbeat, the pregnancy was not viable at that point, and I was cramping and spotting at work. Went into my best friend's office and immediately started crying. She was like, "What's going on?" And I said, I told her what the doctor said. And she grabbed her keys, grabbed her purse, and was like, "Let's go. I'm taking you home." On my way home, I called my boyfriend and told him what the doctor said. And he was like, "I'll meet you at home." So he was coming from Duluth, went straight home. And so about 24, 48 hours later, I had a doctor's appointment. And my doctor gave me three options. First option, let everything happen naturally. Your body will expel the fetus on its own. Second option, you can take a pill which will induce expelling the fetus at home. The pill basically will cause you to contract and expel. The third option was to go into the hospital and do a DNC. I did not want to do a DNC because I did not want to be in a hospital with COVID going on.
That's a thing? Oh my
And for whatever
gosh.
reason, I did not do the option of let it happen naturally. So I chose to do the pill. His birthday was June 17th. My ex's birthday was June 17th. So the decision was made, we're going to celebrate his birthday that day, go out to eat. And then that night, I would take the pill because we both were off from work the next 2 days, next 2 or 3 days.
Mm.
So, went out to eat to try to.
Oh, wait, just like real quick, I didn't know that that was like a thing with like the fetus and whatnot. Like that's that sounds so. This is why like I can never really have that thought process about that's the side of things that I don't know enough about that I would love to know more about because that's just a really scary thought to have about, so like just kudos to her honestly for being so brave. Honestly, that's really scary.
To celebrate as best we could, and then took the pill that night. That night was the most traumatic, excruciating pain I've ever put my body through. I do not recommend any woman, if prayerfully you don't have to go through that, but I don't recommend taking that pill. If you don't have to, don't do it. Um, I spent the whole night in the bathroom, just crying in so much pain. I
Hmm.
couldn't take, they gave me a narcotic. I couldn't take it because I found out I was allergic to it. So it was causing me to like projectile vomiting. It was a mess. So,
Hmm.
um, and he was right there. He was scared that he needed to take me to the ER. But in the morning, the pain kind of subsided. So,
Hmm.
about 72 hours later, I had another doctor's appointment where the purpose of this appointment was to do an ultrasound to see if everything had passed.
Okay.
Everything did not pass. So because of that, my doctor was like, we're going to have to do a DNC.
Oh man. Cause I don't even so like so sad.
Um, my DNC was scheduled for the first week of July.
Okay.
My boyfriend, my ex, was going to take me. Um, that was always the plan. 2 days before my procedure, he comes home and tells me that he is up for promotion. He's up to be promoted to VP. Because of this, the president of the company, excuse me, is coming in, and it was going to be this huge business meeting he had to go to. The business meeting was scheduled for the day of my surgery, and so I'm throwing a fit because I was like, you there's no way you can do that meeting. Like, I need you to take me to the hospital and all this other stuff. And so he offered to have his sister take me to the hospital. Apparently, his sister lived in Douglasville. I was like, no, because I've never met her. Like, I know I'm not having a stranger take me to the hospital. No, this is a private situation. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to do that, blah, blah, blah.
No,
So
smart.
my aunt had offered to take me. And then my friend who took me home from work had offered to take me.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point,
What a selfish man.
we get into an argument because he's like, my sister is, you about your family, so why can't she step in? And I was like, nah, because I don't know her. Period.
Simple,
I
yeah.
don't know her. So my friend.
It's kind of interesting though to think that like they've been together for like a couple of months, and of course they talk about family to a small degree, but then I don't know, like they haven't even met or talked about each other's family and like met them in person sort of thing throughout that time period. I don't know. I just feel like they're moving in my mind, they're moving very fast in the relationship that I would have at least kind of confirmed siblings and that sort of thing. So I mean, his parents were not around, right? But at least the siblings were. So, and same thing with her aunt. Like, at least there kind of be like a extended establishment about like, oh yeah, like here's extended family and that sort of thing. But
Offers to take me to the hospital because I was all distressed that he's saying he has a business meeting and he can't take me. So I remember being on I-75 on the connector on the phone with her crying because I was so embarrassed that he wasn't going to be the one to take me and that I was needing to rely on someone else to take me to the hospital in order
mm-hmm.
to get a DNC done. And she was really great. She was like, girl, this is why you have a village. Like, it's okay. Things happen. The world is crazy right now. I will take you. You're going to be okay. So he did not take me to the hospital for my DNC. My friend did. She could not stay because of COVID protocol.
Mm-hmm.
So when they wheeled me into pre-op after I got checked in, I texted him and was just letting him know, hey, here's the update. I'm about to, I'm in pre-op. They're going to get me prepared to go back to the surgical ward or whatever. And the response I got was from his new executive assistant named David. Now, when he told me he was up for the promotion, he did tell me that part of getting this new job would be that he would get an executive assistant named David. And he did tell me, I'm going to make sure that I inform David if you get a text from this number, meaning from me, pull me out of the meeting because my fiance's having a procedure done and I'm picking
Mm-hmm.
her up, so it's important that you come get me if it's something serious. So I text him. David responds. He said, yeah, Miss.
Wait, sorry. I just had like a revelation. VP of what though? Doesn't he work at like Apple or something like that, or some kind of tech condiment company? I mean, the job thing is not the most clear to me. I don't know. Just
Blah blah told me that you are having a procedure done. if you need me to get him, I can go get him. He's in a meeting. Just let me know what you need. And I just said, no, don't bother him. I'm just giving an update that they're about to take me back. And David responds and says, I'm so sorry you're going through this. Please let me know if there's anything I can do. So I have the procedure. I wake up and I am now in recovery. I should be in recovery 45 minutes up to an hour and a half. I wake up, first thing I ask, and I remember asking, is where is so and so? The nurse who was so sweet, she was like, everything went well. You're doing great. She said, we spoke to your fiance. He's on his way. So I said, okay, okay. I kind of dozed back out, but I could still hear everything that was going on. I just could not keep my eyes open to save my life. So I hear her talk to the other nurse. And that's when she said, yeah, Dr. So-and-so called her fiance and his executive assistant picked up. And the executive assistant said that he was in a business meeting and that, you could relate to him what you need to say and he'll, he'll tell the fiance. And my doctor was like, hell no, HIPAA, I need to speak to him. So apparently my fiance called the doctor back about 30 minutes later, and the doctor informed him she'll be ready to be discharged in about an hour. You can make your way and come pick her up. He said he was on his way. He was on his way from Duluth to Atlanta, which is not a huge distance, but the time of day, one thing about Atlanta, there's always traffic. So he should have been there within the hour. I should have only been in recovery an hour and a half. Let's go to the next part.
Wait, really? Oh shoot. Okay, wait. Okay. It's clicking in memory right now. Uh Let me see the clarification then.
Okay, so I just want to clear up some things that I realized is kind of creating some confusion. So just allow this video to serve as a stop sign. Let's clarify. First of all, the story, background. He was born in Philly, raised in Philly, and moved to Augusta. Story is that he moved to Augusta for high school. After high school, he went to college at San Diego State. Enjoyed San Diego State, stayed in San Diego for quite a while. Got married out in California, had a house in California, played arena football out in California, but his family was back here in Augusta, Georgia. He still had a lot of family up in Philly, but for the most part, he had a sister in Augusta, he had a sister in Douglasville, he had a brother in Baltimore, he had another brother in Philly, and he had a brother in Nashville.
Okay.
So I just want to clarify that in terms of not the demographics, but the geography. Born in Philly, came to Augusta for high school, went to San Diego State for college, played football, stayed at San Diego, got married out there, but still had quite a bit of family here in Augusta. Here in Georgia.
Okay.
He also had a sister, I think I said, who lived in Douglasville. I have physically met his aunt who lived in Augusta. I've met his brother who lives in Augusta. I have spoken on FaceTime with a brother who lives in Baltimore. And then I will demonstrate how he used to talk to the brother that lives in Philly.
You know what would be crazy is if he starts like if the aunt and these siblings were all just not family people. Like let me just let her.
That's coming up. You haven't missed that. In terms of the proposal, you did not miss the story of the proposal. I simply didn't want to share it because it was embarrassing. Basically, he gave me 3 ring options. We went to a jeweler at the Mall of Georgia. He had me pick out 3 rings. I told him which one I liked the most because I knew it wasn't a romantic proposal at all. I knew which ring I liked the most. I told him
Oh,
which one. He basically said, "When I'm ready, I'll give you the ring, and I'll propose." Fast forward, about, I guess it was summer because I was actually pregnant when the ring came. We were sitting at the dinner table. He took the ring box out of his pocket, slammed it on the dinner table, and I was like, "What is this?" He was like, "Open it." I opened it. Inside was the ring that I had wanted, that I had chosen at the jeweler. And he was like, "All right, so this means that you're going to be my wife."
dang.
I was pregnant. So,
But like,
again, when I asked y'all to give me grace, it's because there are certain things that's just like, "Girl, what was you thinking?" Trust me, there's no excuse. Um, so there was never a "Will you marry me?" It
he
was
just threw
more
it at
of
her like that.
a "We're living together, we're having a baby together, we need to get married," because the backstory also was that his dad was a retired police officer, but at one point his father was a pastor. So he could quote the Bible like nobody's business, as we all know.
Okay.
So can Lucifer. But anyway, he could quote the
Damn.
Bible like no one's business.
Okay.
And so that's how we ended up engaged. And I was wearing.
It's that is so messed up that like he just put it on the table and was like, this is happening whether you want it or not. And it's like, I don't I don't know. I feel like it's just weird that in my mind she would have wanted something on like a romantic, because like the first date was very romantic and she was really like appealed by him and just thought that he was like incredible for making a first date experience what it was. And like yeah, like what is she thinking? But also it's like it's so complicated to think about what this is like and what she's going through, because like it's been such a short amount of time that all this is kind of come into perspective, right? So like I don't blame her. I just think that it's really crazy that like they don't, the fact that he just was like, this is happening, and then that was it, is just kind of like crazy to me, honestly. And at least like there was some kind of clarification about like her meeting family on his side of thing. But even still, it's scary because I'm under the impression that like those aren't even people that is family bladed, right? It could be like a whole different thing, and I don't have a clue. But
Wearing a ring. I was wearing. I will find a picture, and I will try to post it. But I was wearing the ring. Don't worry, there's more to that story as well. So, just wanted to clarify some
gosh,
things, um, for the people who were like, "Wasn't it weird that he had a sister who um, lived close, but he's from Philly?" So I just wanted to definitely
yeah,
bring
yeah,
clarity to
no, that makes
what
sense too.
he told me, was the backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Born in Philly, came to Augusta for high school, went to California for college, played football at San Diego State,
Mm-hmm.
played football and arena football, worked at Apple, and then joined the condiment company in California, who then transferred him back to Georgia. He was married in California, and he told me he got divorced in California. That is important as well. That will come up again later. And so the ex wife, at this point in time, at the time that I'm telling you, part 7, which is the last video I just posted, the ex wife lived in California with her 2 kids, his 2 stepkids. The 2 stepkids were 17 and 20 or 21, but they were
Mm-hmm.
that age group, and he was saying that he was very close with them, so he wanted to keep a tight relationship with them. And he talked to them, if not every day, every other day.
Mm-hmm.
When I say, when I say this, I need y'all to understand. When I say that he talked to someone, it means that he was on the phone in front of me talking to the person.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that because I will touch back on this. He
Yeah.
was on the phone in front of me talking to the person. So he talked to his siblings every day. He talked to his aunt almost every day. He talked to his family the way I talk to my family almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I will demonstrate how he used to do the phone calls. I will also demonstrate how he used to do the work phone calls because he called me every single day from work. And he would talk to people while he was on the phone with me.
I'm concerned that he lied and not even on the
And I
phone
could
kind of thing with
hear
it.
people in the background.
Oh, in the phone?
But that's a whole nother part. So again,
What?
buckle your seats. I promise I'm reading your comments, I'm reading your questions, but I wanted to bring this video just to clarify some stuff. Hopefully this helps.
Wait, he ends up
And
actually being on the phone with
honestly,
people?
I know people are fascinated by this, but more than anything, I hope that there's a woman watching this and she's saying to herself, okay, it's time for me to ask some questions. That's my hope.
That's crazy though. See, because here's the thing: you could have sold me on the idea that he was on the phone, and then you couldn't actually hear like the chatter on the other end of it all. You know, like when you hear somebody talking, because like sometimes when you're on the phone, you might not even hear the other person on the other line. So it's easy to kind of just pretend to say like a conversation and make up whatever. But I think the problem that she just explained is that they would both be together in a room and he's on the phone talking to family, but you can hear someone on the receiving end of his phone call. So while he's not talking, the person talking to him is also there telling like a follow up to this to what he just said in the phone. You know what I mean? So like it'd be really crazy if it actually goes even further beyond where there's actually even more people that are in his life that are also lying and making up the story. Because I would love to understand if like this husband has been telling people, hey, let's create this scenario and like turn it into whatever that it is versus um like them being like if they were like paid actors, for example, that'd be like one example, but like it'd be so much worse if like they're also being lied to. You know, I don't really know though, so it's honestly really concerning to me on a whole scale basis. I think that this will further kind of exacerbate as we dive deeper into this because I do have a lot of questions, but I feel like I want to wait and those answers will come into light because there's also a lot of every single video so far has taken a plot point and it had to be put to the side where we can actually like come back to it and then it gets reinserted into the situation that it boils down to. So we'll see. I'm so concerned about how the story is gonna unfold, but we are rooting for you so much, girl. Okay. Let's go check out part 7. Take care.